Hi, I'm Julianne Hartman, and welcome to Heart to Heart. And today is part 2 of getting yourself organized. And I have the organizing queen here herself. This is Dara Fiss, and she has a company called Management and Organization Solutions right here in LA. And we're going to let you know how you can get a hold of her for questions and comments or whatever you want to do. But now we are in a time in our life where people are moving out of offices, office buildings, and they're moving now into their homes. They're bringing their homes to the office. Now, how do you separate?
It's really hard. If you're moving your office from a separate office, a separate location into your home, you still want to try to keep it separate. You want to be able to close that door when office hours are over, and you don't want to go back in unless you absolutely have to, just like it were a regular office.
That's so hard. I mean, it is
very
hard for
hard.
me. Now, so let me ask you a question. So when you have kids, I mean, mine aren't little, but I still want to be a part of their life. So what I've done is I've put an office, like a desk, in my kitchen main area. So you know what it looks like.
Right.
It's a paper mess, but it's right there with everybody, so I can be a part of them. They're doing their homework, but it's always this mess all the time.
Well, what you want to do is, if you can't, close the door. And like most of us, we are working moms, and we want to have our space for our work.
Right.
We want to be able to be involved. You have to, it's a juggling act, and that's where the time management comes in and the paper management. So the time management comes in, if you're not going to be able to work your standard 8 to 5 hours, which most of us moms have difficulty with if we have our own home-based business, what you do is decide, okay, I know that I'm going to schedule clients from this time to this time, or I know that this is the time I'm going to do my conference calls and things like that, because at 2:30 I have to run out the door to go pick up my daughter from school and run her to the next activity, and then I know I'm not going to get back to work until 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
That's one thing that you can do, and that's the way you structure your business, and you let your clients know, I'm available from this time to this time, and then you can always do your correspondence later in the evening where you don't have to do things during normal business hours. How do you manage the paper, though, and making it look good, is you need to find the filing systems that work for you. I have so many clients that say, well, I'm ADD, I have to have everything right out there or I'm going to lose it. Well, the problem is, if you have everything right out there, you're going to lose it. You can't have everything right on top. What I usually recommend is, especially if you're in a central location, is you find that real pretty file box that really doesn't look like one. There are websites where you can get file drawers or things that actually look like furniture versus a file drawer.
So when you say file box, what do you mean by that?
They can be desktop file boxes.
So like you open it up
You
or
can
something?
open it up, or they don't have a top, and you make it look prettier. And the stuff that you know, okay, this is all the stuff I have to do today, in the very front you have a to-do folder. And when you're done at the end of the day and you know that there are still things you have to follow up on, you pick it all up and put it right in that front folder so you know always where to find it instead of leaving it scattered everywhere.
Okay.
The other thing you can do is sticky notes. Put a sticky note so you remember where you left off, so that after you clean it up, because you don't want to look at it when everybody's home, that you remember where you left off, and you just couple keywords or details, however you want to do it, put a sticky note on it to say, okay, I need to revise this copy, or I need to follow up on this memo with this person, or this sale, or this invoice, whatever it is. And that way you're leaving yourself nonverbal reminders that you can actually follow up. The same thing goes if, let's say, you get an important call that drags you away from the project you're working on. Same thing, right? Scratch yourself a little note, put it on there, put it in your to-do or to follow up, and then you know, okay, I'm going to get back to this, but now I have space on my desk to pull out for whatever that emergency was you have to take care of.
Okay.
So you got to discipline.
Well, I was just going to say, it's discipline. I mean, how do you get away from discipline in every part of your life? You just don't.
You can't. You got to do it.
So you know what? It's like you got to just realize you have to get discipline in your life.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And I know one thing, though. A lot of people have discipline in other parts of their life, but may not in every.
Absolutely.
So you got to take, this is why I say to myself, wait a minute. You're disciplined where you'll get up and work out by yourself every day. And you can't be disciplined to put something away, on your desk.
It's those
What's
priorities.
wrong with that?
It's your priorities. It's if you're disciplined enough to get to the gym every day or to go do your workout every morning, but you can't put something away, in your mind, that working out is more important to you than putting something away. And it's important to stay healthy and keep in shape. It's long life, health, all those things are important. But you also have to think of your emotional health. And so your physical health you got taken care of. Now you want to take care of your emotional health. If you have all that stuff around and it's causing problems, and you walk in that door and go, oh, look at my desk. Ugh. You know, and now you're snapping at the kids to pick up their stuff because you can't walk through your house because their shoes are everywhere or whatever it is. That's your emotional health.
Right.
So you got to create that the same discipline as for your working out, for your cleaning up.
And I know one thing, it's like my husband, when he comes home, you know, the kitchen table's got one daughter's doing homework here, one's here, and then my stuff is everywhere. And I know that the day that he comes home and it's cleared off, he's going to be saying hallelujah. But, okay, so now, Post-its. Because I write a lot of Post-its of notes and stuff. And then, because I feel I'm this way. If I don't see it in front of me, like you said, I don't remember that it's there. And I might have written something really important, but I don't remember now where.
Okay, the key to Post-its is to use them as needed. It's okay to write a Post-it to say I left off here and put it on the document you left off on. It's not okay to write a phone number down on a Post-it, put it up on that wall in front of you, and leave it there so it becomes a part of the wallpaper, because that's what's going to happen. So you have to really use any kind of note-taking wisely. I have so many clients that have a little spiral notebook that's this big that they over here with some notes that they grabbed when they were on the phone, and then there's a paper over here, and then there's another notebook over here. You can't do that. Things are going to get lost. You're not going to remember where to track things. What I usually recommend is to get a small 3-ring binder, and in there you put a bunch of, it can be blank paper, lined paper, whatever it is. If you're going to write something on a sticky, put that sticky in the binder.
Okay.
And you can even section it off. One for phone numbers, one for dates, one for notes that you need, whatever it is, tailor it to you. And that's always going to be where those notes go. So even if you scratched it out on a napkin, that napkin either gets taped into that binder or you rewrite it on that paper. So you always know where to find it, and it doesn't become part of the wallpaper.
That's good, though.
And that's your binder. That's your action. And that's always where you're going to find things. Because if you start putting it all over the place, you're going to have notes there for 3 years.
Okay, so now I also was reading a statistic, not a statistic, but information about how we can remember to do things, like how long it takes to bring the change in your lifestyle, whatever it may be. So they say it's 21 days. Have you ever heard of that? That takes 21 days to change a habit?
I've heard 6 weeks. I've heard all sorts of things.
Oh God, I hope it's not 6 weeks.
But it depends what it is. But yeah, I mean, I've heard all those statistics. The only way to change a habit for good is to, like we said, discipline, and to just keep doing it and reward yourself. And you know what? If you slide back a little bit, just like with working out, just like losing weight, just like riding a bike, you get back on that bike and you just keep going and you forget that you made a mistake. It's okay. We're all human. It's going to happen. You know.
So your advice, though, is to try to keep a place where you can shut a door.
Absolutely.
And that you can shut yourself off and say, okay, I'm not getting on the phone. I'm not going to call a client. I'm not going to, whatever it is.
Right. You need to do it, and you need to turn off. Some of us have businesses where it's hard to do that because we are taking time out to go do what we want to do with our children. Then we do have to get back to that because this is our livelihood. We have to get back to our business. But at the same time, it doesn't need to be 10 o'clock at night and you're working. And burning that midnight oil. You don't need to do that, because if you're doing that, you're not taking care of your body, you're not taking care of your family and yourself, and you're not able to be productive the next day.
Right.
So you can't set a precedence for doing that. So yes, I do recommend having a separate place. It's not always possible. Sometimes it's in the middle of the kitchen where you have that, in which case you still, whether you have a separate place or not, you still want to do some of these things that I talked about for organizing, because then it's put away and you're not making dinner, looking over and saying, oh, I forgot about that project.
I do.
And getting distracted.
I do.
And getting upset. You don't want to do that.
And then I've burned something.
Exactly.
On the
and
stove.
now you've got 2 problems instead of 1.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
So can I ask you a question? Please tell me, do you meet people like me?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, so I'm not the only one that put this. Okay.
And everybody that calls me, oh, I'm so embarrassed to have you come and look at my house. I have the worst mess. You've never seen anybody as, disorganized as I am. And let me tell you, it's never the worst that I've seen, ever.
Okay, good. Because I am going to have to come over to my house now that we've talked, because this is great. And you know what? If you just took that part out of the life of a person, that whole, like, I've got this 20-pound weight sticking over me all the time, knowing that I've got all this stuff at home I got to take care of. If you could just take that away, it's like all of a sudden you go, wow, I feel free. I can move.
Absolutely.
And we don't realize it because I think we're in kind of this mind frame of that we have to work, and we can't enjoy things. You
need to stop. You need to stop and smell the roses.
Exactly. Now, do you do that?
I do sometimes admit I'm at the 10 o'clock person because, my clients are very important to me and I want to get back to them. But at the same time, if I'm up there at 10 o'clock at night, it's because I took that afternoon off to go to my daughter's school, to go to something with her, or to do those things. So I really try to do that balance because it's so important. And my daughter's made a comment to me before that, Mommy, you spend so much time working, because I do have her do homework. And while she's doing homework, be doing some of my phone calls or paperwork or things like that. And when she made that comment, for an 8-year-old to be that insightful, to say, Mommy, you're always working, that really brought it back to home. Now, I do have a separate place, a separate office in my home, but that's also hers. And I have a toy box in there for her, so if she's done with homework, she can pull out her crayons or her games or whatever it is while I'm working. So we're still together, but I'm still able to get what I need to do during business hours.
Right.
And then once business hours are done, we have dinner together as a family. We spend some time together. She goes to sleep, and then I'll either spend time with my husband or I'll do work or a combination. So it's you've got to find that balance, but you don't want to make anybody in your family feeling neglected.
Right. And that's hard.
And yourself.
See, and we're the mothers, so we're in control of all of it. We've got to make sure our husbands are happy and the kids are happy, and not just happy, but that they're taken care of.
Exactly.
And all the responsibilities that they have. And then we take care of the house with whether it's a plumber you need or or you got to change a plant out in the front because it died. Little silly stuff that you just go, I don't have time for this to happen. Like the hot water heater went out the other day, and it's like 2 years old. Do I have time to deal with now calling the company to try to get someone to come out?
Stuff. Right.
That's the stuff. But if you have all the other stuff taken care of, then you're not in such a rush all the time to get everything done.
Exactly. And if you have a system for organizing all those papers and all those things that are keeping you from being able to switch gears when you need to, then it's that much better. And you're not going to feel as panicked. Like, oh my gosh, what did I do with that? You're not going to feel as panicked. That is really important because you got to really have that harmony and balance for yourself.
And think if I have more time, I can think of more shows, And
there you go.
Help more people. One more quick question. I know we got to go. We're running out of time. What do people do about like baby bottles and formulas and all that stuff? I mean, I'm watching all these shows that have multiple babies. Oh, Lord, help them. I just, but like, I just look at them and I get exhausted. Like, just kind of like that 30-second thing about.
There are
diaper
people,
bag.
And the diaper bag. The diaper bag, you have to have your essentials, but I'm really big on using those gallon-sized Ziploc bags.
Okay.
And you pull out the ones that you need, a couple diapers in one bag, your wipes in another. There's the formula little dispensers. Those are great. If you have all that stuff organized, you can grab what you need. Do not use your diaper bag as a second purse.
Right.
Because
Guilty.
Everything under the sun ends up in there. You're not going to be able to find anything. For formulas and baby bottles, in the kitchen, find a cabinet that's the formula baby bottle cabinet. Don't have it just all over the counter because when you walk in, you're going to go, oh, there's baby bottles everywhere. So, babies are a blessing, but you don't need to have all the stuff that goes along with it out all the time. So if you put it in a cabinet or a drawer or something, and you can keep the formula with the bottles, so that way people know where to find things if somebody's babysitting or whatever it is. It's all together. You keep it organized, and you're not going to feel so overwhelmed.
Well, that's great. Well, I hope that helped because I know it did me. Not the baby bottles. You don't need to do that anymore. But I wish I would have known. What makes me mad now is I see those little things with the little containers with the formula, and you just open up and throw it in. I had to bring the huge thing with me, and I'm trying to put it and it's spilling all over me.
But even that's what those little Tupperwares are for, or the little containers or things like that.
I wasn't thinking like that back then. Where were you back then? You're probably having your own baby.
That's right.
Well, listen now, our foundation scripture for both days now, this is the first day that you saw, which was Tuesday's show, and that was about getting organized as a stay-at-home mom and as a working mom, and now today bringing your office into your home, making it a home office. And it's 1 Corinthians 14:40, and I have that right here. And it says, let all things be done decently and in order. Ooh, I like that.
Very well said.
See, God told us this a long time
That's
ago.
That's right.
We just didn't read that part.
Well, think of how organized they were to even write all that stuff.
Exactly, you're right. They didn't have Post-its back then.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for joining. From my heart to your heart, this is Julianne Hartman and Dara Fiss, and we will see you soon.